Welcome back to Raider Arena, Niceville, Florida, Northwest Florida State College. 38-37, the Raiders lead the Commodores as we get set for the second half of action. And really the story in that first half was the press of the Commodores. It's every possession is affected by either the threat or the press or the threat of the press. And even though the Raiders have the 1-point lead right now, it is the Commodores that are kind of dictating that pace of this game.
They're making it ugly, Jake, and it's their type of game. That's the way they want to play. There's a whole lot of freedom offensively. They're so hard to guard in the half court with Northwest because they can put the ball on the floor and attack. And there's really no scouting. They're not running a whole lot of set plays, so it's just really you got to buckle down as a defender and just make sure you move your feet and keep them in front. But as far as Northwest handling the pressure, they got Caston back, who was in foul trouble early on. Only played 9 minutes in that first half after going 4 or 5. So let's see if Northwest can settle down and maybe kind of get a little cushion in this game.
So Caston back, and he's immediately on the ball, guarding Godwin. Now pass to Holden in the corner. Put back there, no good. Smith fights for the ball, but it's a jump ball ruling. Number 13, Derek Harden, was the Commodore involved in that exchange.
Raiders will get the ball back with a 3-guard lineup, really, with Barrett and Caston.
Outside to Barrett. Milner now tries to split 2. Call on Milner.
Not sure. I thought that was a 50-50 ball. Let that ride as an official. Just let it play out.
Holden over to Godwin. Godwin takes it to the basket. No good. Wojcik on the rebound. Up to Smith. Smith 1-on-3. He takes it right to the basket. Just off the rim. Now over to Holden, excuse me. Backing down Wojcik. Passes outside to Mayo. Mayo from the corner. Rims out. Wojcik with the rebound.
Nice box out by Wojcik. This is going to be interesting 18 or 19 minutes for this ball game, the first conference. Who's going to get this first conference win?
Milner inside to Wojcik, the whistle. They get Harden for that foul call. So Barrett will inbound it for the Raiders. Looking outside at Caston, goes to Milner instead. Milner, nice pump fake, puts it up, just rims out.
It's funny you see such a worry for Northwest. It's a transition game of the Commodores. They don't send anybody to the offensive glass.
Holden spins around, takes it to the basket. He can't convert on that one. Milner with the rebound. Milner goes over to Barrett. Raiders forcing it up the court. He pulls up from the top of the key. No good on that one. Commodores attack immediately. Pass outside. Owens pulls up from mid-range. No good. But Holden, the sophomore out of Forsyth, Georgia, puts it back in. Milner. Wojcik fell. No whistle, though, on that. Oh! Oh, my! Marseille Caston out of nowhere. Posterizes number 5, Trayvon Mayo.
But Holden comes back the other end. Holden tried to take the charge on that end and maybe thought better of it now, but that's what a team player does. He took the charge. Caston with a little bit of explosiveness. Didn't expect that. I was actually watching the charge to see if there's going to be a charge opportunity, and I kind of missed the dunk from Caston. He surprised me as well.
Yeah, correction on that. I said it was Trayvon Mayo, but you got to get that one correct. It was Holden who was underneath that dunk. Can't unfairly attribute that one to Mayo. Barrett facing some resistance, now takes it from around the free throw line. He fought for that one, but he was able to get it in the net. Godwin now. Back to Owens. Back to Godwin, right wing. Screen from Mayo. Godwin takes it. Staring down Smith. Spin, puts it up. Nice move. Kevon Godwin, the sophomore out of Blountstown, Georgia. Florida, excuse me. Milner, dribbling, right wing. Hands off to Barrett. Barrett staring down Owens. Calls for the screen from Mason. Goes right, now left. From the free throw line. Again, another free throw jumper, good for the Raiders right there.
Barrett with a nice job there, splitting the double team.
Jacoby Owens just right to the basket.
They're so fast. They're so fast on the bounce. It's like a blur. Good use of the timeout by Coach Pierre, not really happy with his defense and giving up a layup, so he's going to address that. But I'm just shocked at how fast and Gulf Coast is. I mean, they on the dunk, when everybody's cheering, they're so well coached to get the ball out as fast, but they get a layup on the other end. I mean, they get 2 points either way, but they don't hang their head. They just continue to play.
That's the thing. Those dunks can be momentum changers, but against a well-coached team, you have to be careful not to just give up 2 points immediately after a dunk like that, because the arena blew up, and quietly Gulf Coast just goes right to the basket.
Gulf Coast goes right to the basket and takes the crowd right out of it. You know, so you don't give them any chance to be excited. Not taking anything away from Castone, great explosiveness and great finish, but as a team, you've got to really hustle back and prevent. They're just not doing a very good job in defensive transition. They're just getting point-blank layups.
And part of the reason Gulf Coast able to dictate the pace of this game is their depth. 16 bench points to Northwest Florida's 4 bench points. And that kind of shows you just how deep this Gulf Coast team is.
You look at them, they're not very big. I mean, but they're long, they're 6'3", 6'4", but they're so fast. And it's a style of play. It's an attitude and a mental approach to it. This is how they play, and they get beat, but they're going to go down and play the game how they want to play it.
Milner finds Castone. Castone staring down Howard. He pulls up from 3. No good on that one. Down to Mayo. Gulf Coast again responds quickly. Over to Holden. He pump fakes and takes it to the basket. No good on that one. All the way down to Castone, the pass from Barrett. Nice look. Mason taking it in the middle. And they call that one on the defense.
On Castone's miss, this is how fast they are. On Castone's miss, there was a defensive rebound. They had the ball at 94 feet on 2 passes in 2 seconds. I looked at the shot clock, it was 28 seconds. That's what you want your team to do. You want your team to get out and run their lanes as fast as possible. But they're so fast with the ball. It's one thing if I'm racing you foot speed, they're fast with the ball.
Mason converts.
I still go back to what I said in the first half. If Coach Pierre can get a little bit of a cushion, 6 or 7 or 8 point lead, I'd like to see him go to a zone because it's got to slow down Gulf Coast. They haven't proven to me that they're a very sound perimeter shooting team.
Cook against Barrett. He gives it over to Holden. Holden to the corner. Howard, no good. Mason with the rebound. And the great look up to Smith from Barrett. Smith takes it right to the basket, converts, and he's got an and one opportunity, a huge possession for the Raiders.
I'm kind of going to date myself, but there was a player for the New York Knicks. His name was Anthony Mason.
Oh, yeah.
He was a load. But this Anthony Mason made one heck of a play with the defensive rebound in traffic and then the outlet pass that led to the bucket by Smith. Caston going to get a little bit of a break.
It is fitting that Anthony Mason is the big man on this team. You can't have a guy named Anthony Mason playing point guard, can you?
No.
Smith converts on that free throw. Now a 4-point lead.
A little pressure by the Raiders here.
A little taste of their own medicine. Howard splits it, though, takes it right to the basket and converts. Cuts that lead back down to 2.
I like the idea by Coach Pierre, but that was too easy.
Barrett working it up the court. Even working it up the court is a difficult task against this Commodore team. Howard providing a lot of pressure as Barrett tried to work that one up. Over to Milner on the left wing. Loses the ball. Whistle from the official.
Well, unlike the first half, total opposite foul starting to mount for Gulf Coast. 4th team foul. Raiders with a 2-point lead.
Barrett down low to Sunalik. Now the Commodores trying to counter. Howard, pressured by Barrett. Spinning, looking around. Goes underneath to Holden. Owens dribbling around, trying to find some room. Takes it up to the basket. Nice defense from Smith. And no good on the putback is Derek Harden. Sunalik now bringing the ball up. Looks outside. Milner in the corner. 3, good. Seth Milner. Splash from 3, and the Raiders now have a 5-point lead.
Nice setup. Good Milner with a good spot up 3. Selnick with a nice assist on that one.
Howard working, spins around, goes outside to Cook. Cook probing, takes it to the basket, passes out. Maurice Gordon draws the foul on that one.
Coach Pierre works out at the same gym I work out at. He's getting a workout right now on the sideline, just up and down, making substitutions.
Thought about bringing Wojcik in, sat Wojcik back down, but that's something to keep an eye on. Wojcik been a big player tonight. When he reinserts into this game, that's going to be a big factor. The miss there from Gordon on the free throw.
Free throw woes continue for the Commodores. This is a game, if they lose this, they're going to look back and really missed opportunities.
Another miss, makes it 4 of 14 for the Commodores. Milner pulls up from 3. A heat check there, but can't convert. Cook over to Owens. Owens back to Cook. Cook probe, step back, jumper, long, rebounded by Smith, and he and Mason both wanted the rebound stat on that one. Barrett dribbling up over to Sunalik on the left. Sunalik looks, goes back up to Barrett, down to Sunalik. Mason back out to Barrett. Another turnover for the Raiders. Oh, that was a pretty layup, a pretty play to get to the basket there by Devontae Cook.
Raiders on that last possession, really just the ball stuck on one side of the floor. They've got to be able to reverse the basketball and get player movement and ball movement to get the defense out of position. Commodores just kind of loaded up on one side and had too much help.
Smith looking, gives it to Sunalik. Sunalik hands off to Barrett. Barrett attacks, goes inside to Mason, but loses the ball. Another turnover for the Raiders. Owens dribbles up, left to Cook. Cook takes it inside, goes right there to Maurice Gordon, dunks it home, and the Commodores now make it only a 1-point deficit.
He's got to come back in with Caston, which he's got ready to check in, but
Caston along with Wojcik.
Milner has to take over the point guard responsibility, and it's just almost point guard by committee right now.
Milner gives it to Sunalik. Sunalik over to Barrett. Commodores getting ready to switch 4 out of this lineup. Mason sets the screen. Barrett finds Sunalik in the corner. No good. Short from Sunalik on that one. You mentioned that shot's continuing to fall short. Cook pumps, takes it inside, spins back out. Now they'll reset with Owens. Owens spins and converts, and now they take the lead. The Commodores find their first lead in a good chunk of time. 53-52 Gulf Coast leads.
This is not your conventional basketball game, but I tell you what, it's pretty entertaining to watch. This is Gulf Coast is one player after another just making plays.
We've only got 11 minutes in this game. I could watch it for another 3 hours. This is a fascinating matchup of styles right now.
It really is. You got that right.
The jumper good from Smith on that one.
You know what, Gulf Coast does a nice job of. They attack matchups. Whoever feels like they've got the best matchup, like right now, they switch the ball screen and he takes it.
Howard, a fantastic possession there by Howard.
Yeah, I mean, they switched the ball screen. He got the matchup he wanted, converted.
Smith looking, goes over to Sunalik. Sunalik pulls up from the right wing, left.
All right, Sunalik's got to come out of the game. Gee whiz. You got a wide open shot there. Come on, man. Oof.
So getting ready to sub were the Raiders, but now a stoppage in play. So we'll see what lineup they come out with. But a big miss right there, and a stretch where Gulf Coast cut down that lead. And you mentioned, you know, if Northwest Florida can get to a 6 or 7 point margin, they got to it and then almost immediately lost it.
Yeah, and again, it's fool's gold. You're wide open, but you're not in rhythm. You don't have your legs under you. It's a tired shot. It was short. It was. You saw what we had a perfect view of the shot. Whenever he shot it, you could see it was going to be off left. Ended up shooting an air ball. Plays right into the style of the Commodores. Commodores now have the lead. If they could make free throws, this would be a 10-point game.
Neither team shooting particularly well from behind the arc. Just 21% for Gulf Coast, 23% for Northwest Florida State. This is a game that has been played inside. It's been played with the mid-range jumper. There have been a lot of threes taken, just not a lot of threes made. But this has really been a game of kind of that probe inside, find that mid-range jumper, find that inside shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, who I think could really be a factor for the men's team is Alana Smith from the girls team. She'll make an open jump shot. There's not many open jump shots being made in this game. As for Gulf Coast is attacking the rim and getting to the basket and finishing, or having a chance to finish and trying an offensive rebound. Can you imagine if Gulf Coast had shooters? The way they play, as hard as they play, and as well coached in how they press and trap and chase, they play so hard where they don't make a lot of shots. If they made threes,
only 2 players in double digits for Gulf Coast. Holden with 19, Devontae Cook 10 points. Raiders have 3 in double digits. Barrett, Caston, and Milner. So another whistle. Looks like it will be Raider ball.
Illegal screen by Gulf Coast.
Caston, again, trying to beat the press. They do. They get into the half-court set. Smith over to Milner. Milner to Caston. Caston back to Milner. Milner up to Caston. Caston jabs. Outside to Milner. Milner from the corner. Off again. And now the Commodores return. Holden brings it up. He's their leading scorer. Now Godwin takes the screen from Holden. Resets, another screen from Holden.
This is the matchup they wanted.
No good there, and Smith, solid defense, and he gets the rebound now. Great pass up to Barrett. Barrett backs out. Wojcik now to Smith in the corner. No good. Once again, no good from the corner. Are the Raiders. Holden, probing, attacking.
Holden.
Gets it in.
Wow. Looks like his knee buckled, and he was still able to finish that. Just tremendous focus on his part.
Caston with the ball. Raiders have hit a bit of an offensive drought. With only 8 minutes to go, this is not the time to do that. Inside to Wojcik. Wojcik slams it home. And this time they celebrate, but they get back quickly as well.
Yeah, nice big defense transition.
A travel call, so as soon as the momentum swings one way in the direction of Gulf Coast, immediately you get the dunk from Wojcik, you get the travel call, and a chance to regain the lead for the Raiders.
It's a great pass for the Wojcik for the dunk because they had cut him off. It was a great team defense. They didn't allow him to get penetration, but he kept his dribble alive and was able to keep his head up and make that pass. Gosh, even an inbounds pass is difficult these days.
Milner's been responsible for the inbounding duties for a lot of the game. It was Caston that time. Outside to Caston from the wing. Good for three. And they regain the lead, 59-57 Raiders. And a timeout for Gulf Coast. A huge three there from Caston.
Yeah, they got out of position a little bit with the defense, and good extra pass. Caston got it. It was almost like he was too wide open. He was worried, but he might not make that shot. But he had plenty of time to set his feet and get his rhythm. Now that was a good shot. That was within rhythm of how he shoots the basketball. Not hurried, not rushed.
So now 7:50 left. Northwest Florida, a 2-point lead. What do you see as the biggest key down the stretch now, as this conference battle plays itself out?
Well, I don't think Gulf Coast is going to change who they are. They're going to keep coming at you in waves, and they're going to keep pressing you. I think Northwest has got to really do an excellent job of execution, getting the ball in the hands of the right people, and handling the pressure. But in my opinion, I think fatigue is going to become a factor in this. Last 8 minutes of the game, very low scoring. It should be a 70s type of ball game, but Northwest has got to. I don't know if they have the depth to really play this style, even though it's a 59-57 game. They're going to have to really kind of get that second wind and be able to finish this thing out.
Holden now with 21 on the Commodore side, and that has kind of been the thorn in the side of the Raiders, has been Holden and been his ability to convert 10 of 18 from the field so far in this one. He's got 7 rebounds as well.
Very unorthodox player. Tough matchup for Northwest. He's got some size, but he's also got some ball handling ability. Able to really finish with both hands.
Pass inside, Milner, hand in the face. Wojcik on the rebound. Caston now bringing it up, gives it to Barrett.
Not what you want coming out of a timeout, that shot, but he lost his dribble, felt like he had to shoot it.
Barrett goes to Milner on the left. Milner, along with Wojcik and Caston, have kind of been the key players in this one. Caston from the outside. He's good once again, nothing but net. Marseille Caston.
Pierre Lewis, just not a very good decision to help on that. He helped off of Caston. Caston was caught wide open again.
Inside to Holden, great defense there. Smith helping from the backside. Smith again there with the block. Now the pass up to Barrett in the fast break, 1-on-3. Barrett pulls up from the wing. Splash, Barrett. Good for 3. Now a 65-57 lead for the Raiders.
This is that second win I was talking about. They came out of the timeout and playing really well.
Nice take there.
Gave up that, but they can just get a sound possession here and kind of settle it down a little bit.
Rescored and a good take to get that dunk. back to a 6-point game now. Raiders in the lead. Cast on. Gets the screen from Wojcik. Goes to the left. Loses the ball. And Gordon now unable to convert. Wojcik on the rebound. Barrett looking up ahead.
That's his second
Decides
miss of
to
the
slow
game.
down.
Point blank second miss of the game.
Barrett now again working with Wojcik in that screen game. Milner dribbles inside. Milner looked like he took a shot to the face, but still converts. Wow. Looked like Milner took a little shot to the face from our angle on that one, but great job to still convert that jumper.
Gulf Coast coach wanted a travel and kind of mimicked the travel, had the fans kind of laughing over there.
Here Lewis over to Holden. Holden pumps twice, takes, passes out. Good. From Kalen Marzette, the freshman out of Southfield, Michigan.
Man, they will not go away, will they?
Will not. 5-point game now, 5:34 remaining.
Holden, smart IQ, goes baseline, realizes that most logical pass is going to be the diagonal, but saw it early enough where Lewis could catch him. I'm sorry, who shot that three? Could catch and have time.
That was Marzette.
Marzette. Good play by Holden on that. So knocks it down to, but cast on, and Barrett coming in, knocking the threes down out of the timeout, pushed it up to 8. They gave up a quick transition basket. Cast on got kind of caught in traffic and turned the ball over. There was another opportunity to cut the lead down to 5. Missed layup. Really, that was a big missed layup by the Commodores.
And I think you can really see the difference with Caston in the game. He missed a lot of that first half. This offense is finding a ton more opportunities with Marseille Caston.
Yeah. And he's another, we not only say ball handler, but decision maker. Guys that are used to having the ball with their hands, being able to making decisions, and it's just, he's a mentally tough player to be able to come in and help the team in that aspect.
Those 3-point shots from Caston really key, and then the one that Barrett made from right here at the wing, just 7 or 8 feet in front of us, was kind of the key. And now this 5-point lead, and now the goal is 5 points, 5.5 minutes. Hold on to it. You can't get too conservative, obviously, but the goal now here is hold on to that lead.
Yeah, well, 30-second shot clock, you can't get too conservative. You got to really play your offense, but it comes down to a shot now. It's not the same shot as it was in the first 5 minutes of the game. The ball has to be in the hands of the people who are your players. But here comes the pressure with Gulf Coast. They're back in that 1-2-1-1, trapping first pass, and
so Smith will inbound. Runs side to side, finds Barrett in the corner. He finds Milner. Milner been a key player in breaking the press all night long. Barrett over to Caston. Caston probes, steps back, probes again. Now inside to Wojcik. Wojcik looks to back down, now faces up. Gets his own rebound. 2 attempts, can't convert either of them. Owens now backs out. Holden pulls up from 3. Wow. Told everyone in the arena knew he was going to do it, and he still made the shot.
like I said, get the ball in the hands of the people that are your best players.
Whistle on that possession. Gulf Coast bench wanted to travel on Jordan Smith. With the foul called on number 20, Devontae Cook of the Commodores, and another stoppage in play.
Is this an officials' time? I guess this is officials' timeout, isn't it? Both assistant coaches are trying to work the officials on this one, trying to get every advantage they can. But another stat you want to look at, Jake, you get the foul situation. You've got 16 fouls for Gulf Coast, and you've only got 2 team fouls for Northwest. Northwest can be a little more aggressive, and but still, in this type of game, pretty well called game. You don't want to have a parade to the foul line where they're going and shooting foul shots every possession. They're letting them play a little bit. Yeah, they've missed some calls, but it's been consistent on both ends, in my opinion.
29 bench points for Gulf Coast, 6 for Northwest Florida. Continues to paint that picture of depth that one team possesses, one team not so much. But another key number, and it's leveled out kind of on both sides, so it hasn't swayed the game to either way, but 14 points off turnovers for the Commodores, 12 points off turnovers for Northwest Florida. With that press style of game, the points off turnovers have been a big key in this one.
Yeah, I would have thought there would be more points for Commodores with points off of turnovers. Fact of the matter is they haven't converted a whole lot.
42 points in the paint for the Commodores, just 26 for Northwest Florida. Again, kind of showing you how these two teams, it's a 2-point game, 4 minutes left. We've gotten here with two teams doing it different ways, and now we'll see which way wins out in this final 441.
This would be a tremendous win for the Raiders if they can hold on and win at home here and hold serve. And they've got the ball with a 2-point lead, so it's going to come down to execution, getting the ball in the hands of the people that need to have it.
Caston brings it up, gives it to Barrett. Barrett wanted to take that 3, decided not to. Now he steps back and does take it, and he's good. Shaquan Barrett, he and Caston from deep, making the difference here late in this one. Caston squared up on Cook. Over to Owens. Owens drives right to the basket.
Oh, man. Here comes the trap. Ooh, almost got it.
Nice spin out of it. Caston now up to Wojcik. They break the press once again. Milner in the corner. Wojcik doesn't see him. And they lose possession. It'll be Commodore basketball.
Yeah, I mean, Wojcik was weak with the ball. I mean, crowd wants a foul. No, there isn't no foul. He was weak with the ball. And it's that never-ending pressure that they chase back, and Wojcik's just got to be stronger. He realizes it. He wanted to foul, but critical turnover there. Had the 3-point lead after Barrett's big-time 3, but then they give up the quick 2. I'd say it makes you, as a coach, lose your hair, but I think Coach Pierre elects to go bald.
That's just the easier route if you're a coach, right?
Yeah. But
70-67 the count, 3:53 remaining in this one. A tremendous game to start off Panhandle Conference play, and that's one of the things that is so big about tonight. It's the opening of Panhandle Conference play, and on the women's side, the best conference in the country. On the men's side, one of the better conferences in the country at this level. And just an exciting night here at Raider Arena.
Yeah, great opening night. Gulf Coast is a great opponent just down the road. And this is just one of many. I mean, you got to strap it on every single night when you come to the conference play. Chipola, haven't seen them play, but they're historically going to be very, very talented. Then you have PJC with Coach Pena and his staff over there do a fantastic job. So every night is going to be one of those nights. And in the years past, you've had Northwest that was just so dominant. It was almost kind of a race for second place. But this year, it could be very competitive in any team's game or league.
Well, I mentioned earlier, the Raiders 18-3 in the last 8 seasons against Gulf Coast, including 9-1 at home. They have won this series consistently, and if they can get a win here tonight, it goes a big way towards a successful season for the Raiders. But it's not over yet. Still 3 and change left in this one.
Nobody's told these Commodores that it's 18-3. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they certainly aren't playing like it. That's
They,
for sure.
they don't care. They don't care about who's played in the past and the other previous 7 seasons. This is their team, and even in the huddle, as I'm watching the players, listen to their coach, they are engaged. I mean, they are in this. Free throw line has been not a very good place for the Commodores. Let's see if they can start converting here when the game matters. Holden, he's just a baller. He's a player who he wants the ball in his hands, and it's not a selfish type of attitude. He just feels like he can make any play.
Holden splits at the line. Now Barrett looks forward, and it's picked off by Owens. But he takes the charge. A great play there. Barrett makes a mistake, immediately recognizes it, immediately turns around and fixes it.
Yeah, that's where Owens' athleticism and speed got him into trouble. He should have come to a jump stop, made the bounce pass. That's where the fundamental play needs to come into play. He was going to make the pass, but he needed to come under control and not charge. Big turnaround for the Raiders.
Cast on underneath, over to Milner. Now up to Barrett. Looking at Wojcik, but won't go there.
Good decision.
Barrett. Now Milner. Milner working inside. Pulls back out. Now he's trapped. He'll go to Wojcik. Wojcik will pull up from 3. Oh, Wojcik short. And because it did not touch the rim.
That's a big break for the Raiders, because that ball did touch the rim, and they were out in transition. So this stoppage of play is not good for the Commodores. That's a big turnaround. Coach is not happy with that. I don't blame him.
Now Cook brings it up, 2:48 remaining on the clock. Caston takes one swipe and then backs out. Barrett heads up on Owens. Goes out of bounds and it'll stay with the Commodores.
Good job by Barrett by holding his ground. Didn't give up anything there. Even got a reach in. Looked like it could have almost gone off of Owens.
2-point game now, 2.5 remaining in this one. Mayo gonna inbound it.
Traveled.
So a costly mistake there for the Raiders.
5-second count.
Or for the Commodores,
Yeah,
excuse me.
5-second count, but he could have called him for a little travel. He traveled before inbounding the ball.
So Smith will inbound it. He looks. Finds Caston to his right. Caston dribbles up ahead to Wojcik. Wojcik hit his left hand, bounced out.
But it's the same decision that Barrett had. Barrett decided not to make that pass. It just wasn't the time. Caston shouldn't have made that pass. Decisions right now are critical.
Holden hesitates.
Not going to hurt him because it's only the 4th team foul.
Whistle on Smith of the Raiders. Jordan Smith, the 6'7" freshman guard out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Works inside, no good. Milner with the rebound. Now 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes, 2-point lead. That one was tipped, it was ruled Commodore basketball, and the crowd kind of telling the story on this one. They don't like it.
They're going to reverse that.
So it appeared that they indeed did reverse that one. So a pivotal moment there late in this one.
Raiders were fortunate there. Just another forced entry pass. I didn't see how much time. Well, it was still 12 to 13 seconds on the shot clock, so they really didn't have to make that pass. I still go back to what I said. If they can somehow get a conversion here and go up 2 possessions, if they can play a little bit of zone, I would like to see how Gulf Coast handles that.
So a quick check at the numbers as we hit the final 2 minutes in this one. Northwest Florida State shooting 53% from the field, just 35 from 3, but they've converted on 9 of 10 of their free throws. Gulf Coast State, on the other hand, 42% from the field, 29% from 3. But this is the key number because you look at the amount of misses. It's a 2-point game. They're shooting 31% from behind the free throw line, 5 of 16. That's 9 opportunities they haven't converted on. All you have to do is go 2 of 7 as opposed to 0 of 9 in those opportunities, and it's a tie ball game. That to me is the key number that just stands out.
Yeah. And the 21 turnovers for Northwest. They've out-rebounded the Commodores by 8, 39-31, but the turnovers are minus 11.
How about this? 5 blocks for the Raiders. They lead the conference with 5.6 blocks per game, and again tonight, they are putting pressure on guys when they come into the middle, and it's showing. Smith looking, finds Milner. Milner at the elbow. Attacks, creates his own shot, just a little long. Now Owens will bring it up. We're under 2 minutes.
Northwest still man-to-man.
Owens on Milner. Owens goes to the right, drives, passes out. Howard goes right to the basket, passes out to Holden. Holden wanted to take it from the wing. Jab stepping, considering his next move. He'll pass it in, gets his own rebound, and puts it in.
Tie ball game.
70-70 now with 1:23 left. A great play by Holden there. Lost it, regained it, and immediately converted. Up to Smith. Smith over to Barrett. Barrett looking.
They continue to press. A minute left to go, and they're still going at it. Tied up.
Milner. Milner gives it to Caston.
Great defense by Owens.
Caston just can't convert. And Owens a big part of disrupting his timing on that possession. Owens has frustrated Caston a lot of the night.
Yeah, he's a tremendous defender, on-the-ball defender.
Caston heads up. They elect not to switch off the screen, but it gives Holden a little opening. He goes right to the basket. Foul call. So now with 33 seconds on the clock, tie ball game. And of all people, Holden will go to the free throw line.
But you know, that's where basketball IQ has to come in, where you've only got 14 fouls. So don't let him get that deep. If you got to foul him on the floor.
Absolutely.
And let him take it out of bounds and you live another day.
Holden cannot convert. A huge miss right there. Gestures to the crowd, making a lot of noise. Holden misses both. The free throw woes continue to plague the Commodores. 2 free shots, and it's still a tie ball game. Now Barrett, 24 seconds remaining.
The Raiders can play for the last shot, so they don't have to. They can play this shot clock out.
15 seconds. Timeout from the Raiders. So 14 seconds remain. 70-70 ball game. Looks like 11 seconds remain on the shot clock, so a difference of 3, which...
I mean, 3 seconds is not a lot of time.
Yeah.
Is plenty of time to get the ball down the floor for Gulf Coast, but you've got to protect the ball. You can't give up a turnover, and you've got to make sure that you get the shot in the hands of the ball in the hands of the person you want to take the shot.
Do you avoid a 3 here to avoid the long rebound? Because that long rebound, the way Gulf Coast plays, seems like that's a threat to immediately get turned around for a basket.
That's a great point. That's got to be something they're talking about. But offensively, I mean, he's going to run an out-of-bounds play from the side here, I would imagine, and wind it down. There's not a lot of time with 11 seconds on the shot clock, so you've got to be in a hurry after the inbound pass. If the play breaks down and they don't get what they want, then you got to have somebody manufacture a play.
So we'll see what the play here is. Smith looking to inbound. Barrett, 13, 9 on the shot clock, 7, 6, Barrett. Screen from Wojcik. Barrett, 1 second. Owen. Wow, just a poor possession. A poor possession by the Raiders there. Good defense from Gulf Coast and unable to get anything up there.
Yeah, you got to get a shot at them. It was almost like it was, again, the ball was stuck on one side. It didn't have its space. And Barrett and Milner and Caston are good enough to beat their man. But the way Gulf Coast helps so much, it's hard to beat their team. So that in that case, I would like to see a little more space, maybe some, balance the floor out. And in that instance, have Barrett maybe take it to the basket, try to draw a foul.
When it comes to creating their own shot, I feel like Caston's tonight has been the best at creating his own shot. Do you not go to Caston right there and have him try to make something happen?
Yeah.
Do you like the decision there to go to Barrett and try to work off of that, the screen with Wojcik?
Well, part of the art is getting the ball, and I think Owens has been such a good defender on Caston where he struggled.
True.
The whole out of bounds play was tough getting the ball in. So Barrett was the man who caught it, and I think it was just going to be a situation where Barrett was going to try to go one-on-one. But the Gulf Coast defense didn't become passive. They just stayed aggressive and got really the turnover.
So 2.4 on the clock. We'll see if Gulf Coast takes home the victory or if we get some free basketball here early in the year. Owens gives it to Holden. Holden back to Owens. Owens throws it up. Nothing. So it'll be a tie ball game as we head to overtime. The Raiders and the Commodores 70-70. So free basketball here on Emerald Coast TV. We'll be back with you in just a short minute. All right, so welcome back. We get ready to begin overtime here. Raider Arena, Northwest Florida State College, right here in Niceville, Florida. It'll be Wojcik against Holden for the opening tip. And Wojcik over to Milner to give the Raiders possession, opening this 5-minute overtime period, tied 70-70. Milner working against Holden, loses it for a second, regains it, over to Smith. Smith back to Barrett. Barrett resetting the offense. Down to Milner. Milner hands to Caston. Caston pulls up from 3, just a little to the right. Now Holden over to Owens as the Commodores bring it back. Working over to Cook. Cook to Mayo. Mayo drives inside, and he misses, gets his own rebound, puts it back up, gets his own rebound again, misses it. So now Barrett easing it up.
A lot of missed shots right around the basket for Mayo there.
Smith pumps, decides to get in, mid-range jumper, converts. Jordan Smith.
Big bucket that time by Smith. Where have you been?
Yeah, only 7 points entering this overtime period, but a timely basket there for Smith. Wojcik, great defense from Smith and Caston, and Wojcik gets the rebound. Now he hands to Caston, over to Milner. Milner looking. Milner hands to Caston. Caston tries to drive baseline. And a foul call. Looks like that one will go against Owens.
I think Barrett, Milner, and Caston are going to sleep well tonight. They have been put through the ringer tonight.
Oh, every time Milner comes anywhere near us, you can see the sweat.
Look at Barrett.
Barrett, yeah.
Hands on the knees. This is where that depth and bench has come in for Gulf Coast. But got your best free throw shooter here on the line.
Big one. That makes it a 3-point game. 3:30 remaining in the overtime period.
Got your 2-possession game. Can I see some zone? A little bit of zone. Raiders stick to man-to-man.
Backs in. Good defense there, Barrett. The foul call on Barrett, but good effort there from Barrett to try to make something happen defensively. Unfortunately, gets called for that foul.
Yeah, but doesn't hurt them. You know, they take the ball out of bounds. They don't go to the foul line. Next team foul will be a 1-and-1.
Marzette will inbound. He goes over to Cook. Cook over to Howard. Howard pulls up mid-range. Can't convert. Pass back out to Holden. Holden decides to take it inside. Passes back out. Marzette. Marzette back inside to Holden. Holden puts a move on Wojcik. Goes up and converts inside. Holden showing he can get it done in multiple ways. 74-72. Lead still with the Raiders. Barrett looking up. Crosses half court. Goes inside to Caston. Great pass. But a strong defensive play there from Marzette.
It's a great back door by Caston. He thought he got fouled. He thought he was going to the foul line.
2:42, 2:41 now. Caston heads up on Cook. Marzette outside. Marzette pulls up from 3. Rims out. And Smith with the rebound. So now the Raiders, with a 2-point lead, will bring it up the floor, led by Barrett. Barrett waves off Caston, then goes over to Milner. Milner to Smith. Outside Wojcik. Over to Milner. Caston, top of the key. Cuts inside. Nice possession by Caston there. Fought to get the opportunity and converted when he got to that point. Holden pumps. Holden goes straight to the basket. Holden with an and-one opportunity.
He just freezes people with that shot fake. It's so slow. That's what I was talking about. You don't have to be fast in a shot fake. He plays it. He lets the defense bite. Sometimes you get too fast before the defense has a chance to react to the ball fake. He's a fun player to watch.
Sunalik getting set to check back in for Smith.
Smith's going to foul out. That's his 5th foul. That's a big loss for the Raiders as they've kind of went with this lineup the last 10 minutes of the game.
And you can see he's visibly upset that he's fouled out in this one. He's frustrated. Sunalik back in the game. Sunalik Couple mistakes there late in the second half, but this is a big chance here in crunch time to atone for those mistakes. Instead, a 5-second call there.
Quick 5. That was a quick 5.
Commodores trail by 1. Over to Howard in the corner. Howard calls Owens over. Passes to him, top of the key. He gives it to Holden. Holden pumped. Back to Owens. Owens, floater, just to the right. Holden grabs the rebound. Holden, tips it back in. A huge play from Holden there to give the Commodores the lead. And now a huge turnover from Sunilek. Sunilek pressed in the corner, gave it away.
That's why that foul out by Smith was so important.
So now a substitution. Sunilek out, Cameron Parker, the guard from Crestview, Florida. We'll check in.
He's got a chance to redeem himself as well. He had a turnover in the first half. But really didn't play very much after that. What was that?
Air ball on that 3. Some miscommunication court wide on that one, even between the officials. Barrett crosses half court, heads up on Owens. We reach the 1 minute mark now. Barrett takes it inside. Wojcik in the corner, just a little long. So the Raiders still trail by 1. Over to Howard. Howard backs out. Howard now back to Holden. Holden to Owens. 46 seconds remain. Takes it inside. Howard in the corner. Howard miss, but rebounded by Owens. Another big rebound by the Commodores outside.
Seconds.
Owens, 15 on the shot clock, 30 on the game clock. Castone tied on defense on Owens. Owens takes it to the basket, can't convert. No foul call, so 20, no shot clock remaining. Barrett, top of the key, goes inside, passes it out. Milner's rolled up. Milner got the ball in the corner and was immediately rolled up there by number 22 of the Commodores, Kalen Marzette. So a timeout for the Commodores now. The proverbial icing of the free throw shooter. As we now sit both teams in the bonus. 1 point game, 10.2 on the clock. Raiders trail by 1. And it doesn't get much more exciting than this, does it?
No, great opener to start the conference season for Panhandle. I mean, you've got two teams that just desperately want to get off to a good start, obviously with a win. Raiders want to serve their home court, but Gulf Coast has got a chance of coming in and steal one. This is a big, exciting game. Like I said, not your typical type of game, just kind of up and down. I'm not going to say PE game, but it's got a little rat to it, but it's been entertaining. It's been fun to watch.
$25 turnovers now for Northwest Florida State, just 10 for Gulf Coast. And you know, you mentioned that number earlier, that turnover number, and that in this overtime period has been a real key, because right when it looked like the Raiders were going to pull away, you had a couple key turnovers on that end of the court that put this one right back in the hands of the Commodores. I
feel bad for Sinoled. Tough position to come in. You know, you haven't played in probably 12 minutes, and you come back in the game, and you get a quick 5-second count. I thought it was a very quick count by the official. And then you get the ball caught in a bad situation, and you make the turnover. Yeah, it was those two turnovers, but it all can be for naught if Milner can knock these down. They can get one more stop.
And Sunalit coming off of a 21-point game, including 4 3-point makes against Coastal Alabama. So that just goes to show you how quickly the pendulum can swing back and forth in a sport like this that is so based on runs and momentum.
No disrespect, but Coastal Alabama is no Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast is real deal. They're all about defense.
Key free throws here. A huge make for Milner right there. 77 to 77. We are all tied up here. 10.2 remaining.
I like the substitution here. Mason for Parker. You got more size in there. I wouldn't even put him on the line. I'd put him back. They beat you with a long three. They beat you, but first of all, he's got to make this free throw.
Tie ball game, 8, 7, 6. Owens bringing it up. Owens pulls up. Mason. Travel. And the Mason substitution immediately pays off. Immediately Mason makes a huge play. Didn't record a block, didn't record a rebound right there, but simply disrupted, partially because of his size, disrupted that possession, and they get the travel call, and now with 1.3, maybe another chance.
Yeah, right place at the right time, good help, didn't foul, didn't get out of position, kept his composure. But I'm not, this is a tough position for the Raiders. They're losing Smith, already kind of not much of a bench. Now going into second overtime. This is where Coach Pierre is earning his money.
So an opportunity here, 1.3. How much can you do with 1.3 seconds?
You can catch and shoot. You can run something to get a look. I guess they're getting the ball out of bounds there. I would try to set it downstream for either Milner or Gaston, and even probably a catch and dribble shoot at this point. You're playing at home, so 1.3 might mean 2.7.
Yeah.
Or with your size, you can get a lob to the rim. Oh, they're going to get on the baseline.
Off the backboard. So we'll reach a second overtime, but a new energy I can see on the Northwest Florida bench, partially because it looked like they were dead to rights there. And then that huge play from Mason, again, not even recording a stat, very simply just being there as the player traveled and disrupting him. All of a sudden, they're alive again. It looked like very possibly this was going to be one in the loss column. So going to a second overtime, you mentioned the shallow bench, but I see a renewed energy on that Raider sideline.
Yeah, Mason came in and did his job. Maybe they can get something out of Silnick when he gets back in and gives him some confidence. Commodores, again, the free throw line just has been their downfall. They play so hard and they exert so much energy where, I don't know, I would coach them to take more time on the foul line to kind of get their composure, but they're not shooting free throws with a whole lot of confidence at this point.
Is this a practice where you have everyone make 100 free throws before they leave tomorrow?
It's a whole different scenario. You got game time free throws and you've got practice. So when the teams say you got to shoot more free throws in practice, it doesn't simulate to game action. You just can't do that with 500 fans or how many are here watching the game and the lights and overtime and things that matter. So I just go back to what I say with Gulf Coast. If they had shooters, if these kids could shoot, as hard as they play and as the belief system they have in what they do, they'd be a tremendous opportunity to win a men's national championship.
6 of 20 from the free throw line are the Commodores.
Yeah, and you can say they don't deserve to win, but they're right in it in double overtime against a pretty formidable opponent.
So Mason in the middle to tip. He and Wojcik had a little interaction deciding who would be in the middle for that one, but looks like it would be Mason. Owens over to Mayo. Mayo heads up on Wojcik. The whistle. Looks like we'll go back to the line. That foul call on Wojcik.
Now it's just there's no good matchup for Northwest on the defensive end. Wojcik can't guard any of those guys. Mason can't guard any of those guys. That's where you really want to maybe go to a zone to prevent penetration. But, you know, Coach Pierre knows what he's doing and doesn't want to maybe show his hand. You know, this is the first of 3.
Well, and that is kind of the struggle with basketball nowadays, is that Gulf Coast is positionless. And the Raiders have 2 big men on the floor. And it's just, not everyone's playing with the same toolbox now in basketball, and it's tough to play those matchups. Loses the ball, does cast on. A little back and forth there.
Yeah. And this is where I say fatigue now becomes a factor with the 3-headed monster with Milner and Barrett and Caston. You know, and they played their guts out. They played as hard as they can, but you know, double overtime now you're looking at a 50-minute game. Caston was in foul trouble in the first half, so he hasn't had the misfortune of playing as many minutes as Milner and Barrett. But
so the Commodores inbound. Owens over to Mayo. Mayo working inside, passes back out to Howard. Grant Howard probing, shoots from the free throw line. A little long, Barrett with the rebound. Raiders trail by 1. Barrett brings it up. Calls for a Mason screen. Goes to the left. Barrett takes it inside, outside to Wojcik in the right corner. Wojcik rims out. The unfriendly bounce from the rim there on that one. So now Holden will try to extend the Commodore lead. Over to Howard in the corner. Howard works inside. Nice little floater, but he can't convert on it. Wojcik fighting for that one. He and Maurice Gordon.
Raiders will get that one with the change of possession, but
Milner over to Caston. Caston over to Barrett now. Barrett looking down court, tries to split, and he's picked off by Owens. Owens then doesn't lay it in, misses that one. And Milner with the huge play. Milner with the timely swipe. Now dribbling in, passes over to Wojcik. Wojcik inside, puts it up, can't convert.
oh.
And the foul on Wojcik. Looked like an over the back there, so just an unfortunate series of events for the Raiders.
And I keep harping on this, but it's really the theme of the game from the beginning of the game to the end of the game is the constant, never-ending pressure that Gulf Coast puts on. So Barrett, who's made good decisions for most of the game, that mental fatigue of trying to dribble through 2 people wasn't the best decision he could have made. And it's not his fault. It's like the pressure that Gulf Coast puts on you. It's not like playing 40 minutes. It's like playing 80 minutes.
Yeah. Holden converts on that one, bringing the Commodores to, it appears, 8 of 24 from the free throw line. A little confusion right there.
Another 5-second count.
Interesting ruling there, but nonetheless, the Commodores will have it. Mayo looking to inbound. He goes over the top. Owens popped out by Barrett, but Owens keeps possession.
Still a lot of time, just a 2-point game, 3 minutes to go. I mean, no really going to lose your control.
Milner heads up on Holden, but Holden can convert.
Holden's been the Alana Smith of the men's game. I mean, with 37 points and 16 rebounds, he's just controlled everything. Everything has kind of flowed through him.
Did not get overtime in that first game, but as we mentioned earlier, very similar scripts in many respects in the 2 games of our doubleheader. Holden converts on that free throw. Now 77-82 in favor of the Commodores. Up to Wojcik. Wojcik to Caston. Caston lays it in. Owens to Howard. Howard to Holden. Holden pumps. Decides to attack. Passes out over to Marzette. Marzette short from 3. Mason with the rebound. Mason goes over to Barrett. 3-point game.
No need for a rush shot. Get you the best shot.
So another turnover there, and just a series of mental errors that is keeping Northwest Florida from taking a lead earlier, from extending the lead.
But again, it's a byproduct of from the very beginning of the game to right now. It's just the mental wear that they place on you.
Holden attacks inside. He's met by Wojcik and Mason, but a foul call. Holden down.
You know, Jake, you made a great point that, Pat Riley talked about when LeBron James went down to the Heat, that the game was going to become positionless, and that's kind of what Gulf Coast has. They don't have anybody that really, they can do it all. You know, they're just a very, very tough matchup for Northwest, especially with Mason and Wojcik in the game.
No good there on that free throw. You mentioned the fatigue. Gulf Coast is, they're the UFC fighter that wrestles you, lays on top of you, tires you out, and then knocks you out in the 5th round. I mean, they're the boxer that throws the body punches, and then in the 10th or 11th round knocks you out. This is the moment where those body punches add up. A 4-point game, can Northwest Florida withstand them? That's what we'll find out. Barrett looking at Caston, hands to Caston.
They're so active. So now you just break the pressure. Now you got 18 seconds to play offense against a very good half-court defensive team.
Milner looking at Mason, decides to go to Wojcik. Wojcik pulls up from the corner. He's long. Cook with the rebound. Now Owens bringing it up. Now he passes to Cook. Cook looking to pull up, decides not to. Passes back to Owens. Owens on Caston. Back over to Cook. Cook goes to Holden. Holden pulls up from 3. No good, wide right. Just got backboard. He fell down on that one as well. Caston up to Milner. Milner from 3. Milner is good, nothing but net. 82-83 now. The Raiders trail by only 1 as we near the 1 minute mark remaining in this second overtime period.
Attaboy, Milner. Terrible shot by Holden. He's had the heck of a game with 39 and 16, but just an awful shot. And poor transition defense on part of the Gulf Coast Commodores. Milner with a tremendous big 3.
We've talked a lot about Barrett. His name's been mentioned a lot, bringing up the ball. And then, Wojcik and Caston have been big players as well. But I feel like Seth Milner may be one of the key cogs of this game. He's been a very underrated player. He's been key at inbounding and breaking the press, and a couple of huge threes from right in the wing in front of us.
Yeah, he's made some big plays and done a lot of different things on the defensive end that go unnoticed or not in the score sheet. But Caston's been quiet. Barrett's really been quiet, this overtime periods.
And every time we update the numbers here, it feels like the turnovers, there's about 4 or 5 more for Northwest Florida and 1 more for Gulf Coast. 29 now total for Northwest Florida, just 11 for Gulf Coast, and that tells the story of what a frustrating defense can do to you.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a long day if the guard play wasn't going to be able to handle the pressure. And I say they haven't not handled the pressure, but the turnovers late have been really glaring. Glaring in the game where they haven't given themselves a chance, and you can just see the mental fatigue wearing on them with the turnovers.
Well, it's kind of like playing the triple option team. You're going to give up 150 rushing yards. The question is, do you give up 150 or do you give up 300? You're going to turn the ball over against a press team. The question is, can you limit it in key positions? Can you, for the triple option analogy, can you make the 4th and 1 stop? In this case, can you be smart with the basketball as you try to come back and win this one?
Well, there's turnovers and there's turnovers too. They haven't been good turnovers. They've been not aggressive. They've been kind of passive turnovers.
Sure. Holden over to Owens. Owens looking. Probing goes over to Howard. 45 seconds remain on the clock. Over to Mayo. Mayo on Wojcik. Hard left, but Holden with the rebound. A huge rebound there by Holden.
Yeah, shot clock resets.
May have been the biggest play that Holden's made all game. Drives in on Wojcik. Can't convert. Milner, can he grab the rebound? They're tied up.
Gulf Coast. Three seconds on the shot clock. They get the shot that they want. They can't get the rebound.
That scenario, you hope for the travel, but with 3 seconds on the shot clock, you got to feel like you forced the Commodores into a tough position, and you like where you're at right now defensively, right? For Northwest Florida, 3 on the shot clock. It's tough to do a lot with that, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. But I go back to the possession where you've got your bigs now trying to play perimeter people. They're not in a position to rebound. So you give up a shot, but you can't secure the rebound to give yourself a chance on the offensive end with 20 seconds to go. But yeah, you're right. 3 seconds to go out of bounds. 3 seconds is a lot of time. But the fact of the matter is, even if they convert, it's still a one-possession game, and you've got plenty of time to get your look. You really don't even need a 3. If the Gulf Coast Commodores can go up 3, I wouldn't even take 3. I'd try to get a quick 2 and take my chances with maybe putting them to the foul line.
Well, and the question here now, they've put 20 on the shot clock, and the Raider contingent arguing that it should be 3, but officials responding and justifying the 20 on the shot clock there. So
well, then now you've got a foul.
Yeah, looks like a.
Now you've really got to recognize the situation and foul.
Mason on the inbounder. He goes inside. And the foul on Barrett on that play.
Boy, that looked like a loose ball situation.
And an important note, Gulf Coast in the double bonus, so they'll get 2 no matter what. 21.3 remaining. They're only up by 1.
So we have a foul out. We have, no, I guess we could have Holden going to the foul line. Seems like he's been there, just lived there the whole night.
A 2-point game, 20.1 remaining on the game clock. Mason, Wojcik, Milner, Barrett, and Paston. The lineup for the Raiders. Holden converts on that one. So a 3-point game, 20 seconds left. The Raider unit on the floor. Over to Barrett. It's tipped, but it'll stay with the Raiders. Inbound to Barrett, 17-15 now. Dribbles up. Looking, gives it to Wojcik, and a timeout for the Raiders. Wojcik shoots well after the whistle.
I saw him shoot it. I was like, oh no, please don't shoot it. Don't let it go in. Fans giving him a hard time because he really hasn't found the bucket tonight. Tough shooting night for Wojcik.
I'm convinced that guys' shooting percentages are higher when they shoot the ball after the whistle is blown.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing how often that ball goes in.
That pressure goes off you like that. Coach Pierre with 7.1 seconds. Going to have to devise a play out of bounds here for the three-point shot. It's the last possession to end the first overtime. Didn't go well with Barrett kind of dribbling the ball out as time. Shot clock expired.
Yeah, second chance at the inbound play right here. 7.1 remain on the clock. Raiders in the bonus.
I'm going to go on a limb. I think Wojcik gets the three-point look. I think you try to space floor, put him in the corner. But the thing with the Commodores is you could probably foul and not give up a three. They've got 7.1 seconds to go. If you don't want to give up a three here, you foul, put them to the line, and take your chances. But
so Barrett will inbound. 7.1 remaining on the clock. Cook defending the inbounder. Barrett looking. Finds Caston. 5. Caston double teamed again, puts it up. Milner gets the rebound, but Milner does not have enough time to put it back up. So 85-82, the Commodores grab the win in a second overtime period. A disappointing result if you're the Raiders, but I feel like, John, when we look at that game and we look at the way that one just played out, again, a 3-point loss for the Raiders in double overtime, I think you're encouraged by the fact that you took them to 2 overtimes. I think you're encouraged by the fact that without much of a bench, without a ton of depth, you were able to hang with a team that goes 10, 11 deep and presses you for 40 minutes. A frustrating result, but I think positives to draw from that if you're Coach Pierre.
yeah, and right now he's not going to look at any positives. He's very frustrated, and you could tell in his reaction how he's kind of walked off the court, very dejected to lose the home opener. But he's got to realize that, your team is young in terms of not understanding your system just yet. And I thought they played hard. I thought they gave themselves a chance, but in the end, they got caught up with some of the tempo of the game of Gulf Coast and really couldn't overcome that. And then the turnovers, when you have 30-plus turnovers for the game, it's going to be hard to throws tonight, but the fact that you still got there, and when you make free throws, it allows you to put your pressure on. And the way he played center field was, I mean, if you watch him in that press, he plays the center field, and his job is to go get the ball. And he makes a break on. He's like a free safety out there, making plays on the ball. And when he gets it on the offensive end, he knows what to do with it, and that's attack the basket. But they didn't really rely on the three-point line. And Raiders, fortunately, lose the first one, but we'll bounce back after this.
Absolutely. So we thank you for joining us here for this doubleheader from Raider Arena in Niceville, Florida, on the campus of Northwest Florida State College. Unfortunately, Raiders dropping both games tonight, but at the end of the day, as you mentioned, some encouraging performances for the Raiders. We'll see you next time here on Emerald Coast TV for Raider basketball.